History in a nutshell. Why do people in the Middle Ages believe in ghosts? What comes to mind when you think of a ghost? Perhaps an eerie apparition of a Victorian housekeeper tracing the halls of a stately home? Or at least something to that effect? Today, we might think of ghosts as a Halloween staple, or a clever way to build up a story. But back in the Middle Ages, they were considered to be very real and confirmed medieval Christian belief. Tales of the supernatural were often written by monks and nuns and affirmed the importance of being a good Christian to ensure a pleasant afterlife. But why were monks writing ghost stories? To answer that question, we need to break down the fundamentals of early Christianity a bit more. Originally, Christians believed that those who had committed the most serious of sins were on a one-way ticket to eternal damnation. The only way to avoid this was to repent before death. People who did not repent for their sins would be cast into the fiery inferno. Not very fun. The souls of people who lived good lives, unblemished by sin, could access heaven and eternal bliss, which sounds a lot more preferable. However, by the 1100s, the church taught that there was a third state after death. This was called purgatory, a place where the souls of people who had sinned could be purified through temporary punishment. Now, it was believed that the living could help a soul in purgatory by doing good words such as saying prayers, giving money to the poor, even righting wrongs. Doing these good words on behalf of a soul would shorten the time they were tormented in purgatory. The monastery's primary function was to say prayers for the dead, so it's no wonder we find that several ghost stories from around 1100 to 1400 are written in monasteries and feature ghosts coming back to ask for the help of the living, or warning people about their own fate should they not change their ways. Some of the best-known ghost stories were written by a monk of Bale Abbey in Yorkshire in about 1400. The ghosts of these stories usually appear in the form of an apparition, sometimes a burning bale of hay or a scary horse. After taking human form, the ghost would ask the mortal for help, like in one of the stories where the ghost of a local monk asks for help in returning some silver spoons he stole from the monastery. Sometimes these tasks were at great expense to those being haunted, but they completed them in the name of Christian charity. In fact, ghost stories were a really good way of promoting the Christian way of life, or even persuading you to become a monk or nun. If you found yourself haunted by a ghost looking for a favour, chances are you'd still sleep soundly at night, but not always. One of the Byle stories talks of a terrifying presence known as a revenant that rises from its grave in the cloister walkway before travelling over the moors to gouge out the eye of its former mistress, aka the ghost you don't want to meet in a monastery at night. Revenants, meaning one who return, are the restless dead and rise from their grave to torment the living. The only way to deal with these evil beings is to destroy them, usually by dismembering the body, cutting off the head, extracting the heart, chopping it limb from limb, and burning the remains. Not something easily done before Sunday Mass. Revenants probably have their origins in the beliefs of the pre-Christian Anglo-Saxons and other Germanic invaders who settled in Britain after the Romans left. In the 1530s, England started the slow, painful process of changing from a Catholic to a Protestant country, the English Reformation. Protestants rejected the idea that praying for the dead did any good. For them, purgatory didn't exist. You either went straight to heaven or hell, and there was nothing you could do about it. This meant that ghosts couldn't exist, so they dismissed tales of tormented souls haunting the living as nothing more than superstition. By the mid-16th century, these stories, especially those about ghosts in purgatory, were largely erased from most people's faith. But belief in ghosts didn't entirely go away, and reports of hauntings in Protestant England came to be associated with demonic intervention, while ruined abbeys acted as the perfect backdrop for nightmarish stories of apparitions in the night.